going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Back out here in the garage again today. And I'm staring at disbelief because, oh man, let me tell you. Today we got parts in. We did get the parts in. I got the intake sitting over here. I would tell you that we're going to do this massive unboxing. I'm going to see it for the first time, but I'm not going to lie to you. 2 o'clock in the morning last night, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to open it up, see what it was, or see what it looked like, and test trial fit it on here and see what all we're going to run into, if we're going to run into anything at all, and nothing fits. Nothing works. It's just one of those things, man. I mean, everything's in the way, or something's too low, or I'm going to have to move something over or fabricate something. I mean, it is what it is. It's definitely, it's a one size fits most. I mean, you guys run into this stuff. We run into this stuff. But, I mean, let me open the intake for you, show you what it is. All right. Shouldn't be too surprising. It's a nice little piece. Pull it out. It is a Chinesian version, but I mean, for better sense of purposes, it is a Holley Sniper intake. I mean, you set them side by side, you do everything. It's a Holley Sniper intake, just minus there's no Holley across the front right here. But other than that, everything's the same. Parts interchange. I mean, it's a nice little piece. It's got, you know, all the ports on the bottom down here. It's got 3 ports plus another, I think it's a 3/8 port if you want to run a bigger sensor or something like that. But that'll run all my vacuum lines or all my, you know, blow-off valve stuff. Comes with a 102mm throttle body, which is, I mean, it's okay for what it is. You put this next to a fast or something like that. Again, it's a throttle body. You know, fuel rails are fuel rails. Again, they just don't have any writing on them. The only thing I had to do was upgrade the. See, I wouldn't even unbox these for you. I had to put these together because I had to see to make sure. Just basically had to upgrade these to a -8 fitting versus the -6 that they give you, and get my own 90s and all that type of stuff. I mean, I'm not concerned about, I mean, the quality of it is awesome. It's a good build, the welds are good, everything fits. I've already tried the injectors out. Even I don't have the injectors here yet. I've tried them out on there. Everything fits in snug, everything's nice. The only difference, I got the extenders with the injectors, so I don't have to drill holes in the brackets, which you have to do that on the other stuff anyway. Really, this is just a vessel. We're crammed a bunch of air down it, so I'm not too concerned about it being the, you know, but it's nice quality. The problem is, we put it on here, and I'll put it on here for you real quick. It looks really nice. It's sleek. I mean, it's killer looking, and you know, I really like the look of it. I like that it's lower. It does allow me to run a smaller hood if I want to. But you'll see here in just a second, nothing at all is going to work on this thing as far as everything that I've got set up right now. But we are going to try to remedy that today and make this work. All right, basically that's where it's going to sit. Like I said, it looks awesome on the car, especially from a side profile look. I mean, it is definitely sharp looking. But let's go through the issues. Let me grab that throttle body real quick. Pull this out. Which again, this too, I mean, it is a nice piece. I mean, it's super nice. I mean, it's identical to, you know, like I said, you set them up anything else, it's a 102. I wouldn't have cared if it was a 92. But here's part of what we're getting into. You come down here. Oh! Look at the armature over here. That's smack dab right against that water pump tower. So I can't get that there. And you got the pulley right there. That's in the way. And if that's not enough, we'll set that there. I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at from here. We come over here, and then you got the alternator that when I try to put the fuel rail on, well, now that's all falling off. Adjust that. Which I can trim this. The fuel rail hits down here. I can take this cover off, and you can see down inside here, there's this little, right here, on the 3-plug connector that it hits right here on. Now I've taken it off. Now I'm not for certain. We are just using the 1-wire connection on the alternator is all we use, so I don't even know if I need that or if it affects the operation of the alternator. Some of you guys, you may know different. If I don't have to run that, I can actually take off that little, it's like a little ground strap down there. I can remove that and I can actually fit the fuel rails in, and that alleviates that problem. Now for over here, on the water pump and the pulley, I think what I can do here, because it's pretty close I mean, just trying to line up the, if this is not stuck in here, just trying to line up the holes over. I actually think I can cut this down right here and just get a 90 and put there as far as a hose and clear that. There's two problems. Now for the third one, this idler pulley here, I actually think what I can do is, I've got plenty of meat on the back side of this, is just to get this and move it over and drill another hole there, bring this over to here, and then that would solve that problem. Now, in a perfect world, all of that's gonna work out. And I plan on all of that working out. That doesn't mean that it's gonna work out. Worst case scenario, if that doesn't happen, I get the lower alternator bracket, I switch the alternator over to this side of the car, which drops it down just a little bit, and then I have to buy a different water pump, which flips it over to this side of the car and has the outlet coming over here and coming straight out. I can't do the one that's over here with it coming straight out because that idler's in the way. I just have to move it over to the other side. But I know they make that bracket because that's what Joey's got on his car. He's got the lower one over here on this side, and he's running the same headers, so I know that it fits. It's just the difference of having to get a water pump, and hopefully I didn't just destroy the alternator by taking that plug off that I don't use. I don't know if that has to be required to do that or not. Everything else, I think will work. Everything else is good. Like I said, I've got the stuff underneath there as far as like the filter and the 45s and all that. And I think I've got plenty of room. Yeah, you can see down in there. I've got plenty of room, I think, to move those lines around. Like I said, maybe set the tails and turn and do whatever you got to do to them to make them work. But I think all of that stuff is actually will work out just fine. Like I said, my main concerns right now are just doing something with this, doing something with this, and something with this. I mean, it's the only three problems that are in the way, and it happens to be all three problems are in the way. The TPS, I think, will be fine. It's hitting there, but that's because I don't have it up over here. It's actually up over here. I think that'll be fine as far as that'll clearance everything, and we'll have plenty of clearance. But, you know, I'd like to use a low alternator bracket, but I can't do that because it gets into the steering and everything down there. I mean, it's a hassle. Again, this is what I mean by, you know, one size fits most, but we're going to try our best to make do with what we got. I mean, it's, you know, it's hot rod stuff. Just fabricate up, do the best we can, but it's just cutting. Cutting and drilling. But I'm just going to jump after it. I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, hey, you know, I got more parts for sale. Pretty soon I'm going to take the concrete out of the floor. I'm going to try to sell that too. But other than that, I'm just going to jump on it and start hacking away. You know, one of the nice things about this thing is it does actually come with all the gaskets, all your rubber O-rings. It comes with throttle body O-ring. It comes with all the ports as far as the, you know, for these here, but I don't use those. So I'm probably going to have to get a couple of plugs to go on that, because what I'll be using, I use these airlock fittings here, these little 90s. I'll have one here for one of the wastegates or one of the blow-off valves, and I'll have the other one here for one of the blow-off valves. So that leaves me one bigger port, which I'd like to put my IAT in there, but they've got one in the back that I'm probably going to have to drill and port. I'm sorry, not drill and port, drill and tap to put the IAT sensor back in there and just plug off these toe holes here. But other than that, I mean, it's nice to have all those where I don't have to drill and tap everything or try to make things fit, and everything kind of clears underneath there. I mean, as of right now, since nothing else clears, I'll consider that a win. But other than that, get the rest of these gaskets put in here, get these airlines put on. I can at least get those lines. I've got my push lock line here. I've got a bunch of it. I've already got them set up there, so I'll go ahead and get those underneath it and running wild, so they're ready to hook up whenever I get to that point. Because once I cinch this down, I want to be able to just leave it so I can just mock everything up and just kind of go from there. But get the rest of this put together and then stick it on the car. All right, got both my airlock fittings down here. I can just put some airline on that, run it wild. Those go to my blow-off valves. Have all the gaskets in, around the throttle body, everything there. This can now set down. I think I may have to adjust these just a little bit That's that line that goes there. I need to find out where the GPS one is back there and kind of pull that underneath there too, or I can do that later, no big deal. But for right now, I just need to be able to get some airlock to be able to make it from here all the way back to there. And I think I've got a little bit of that somewhere. I've got some on here that I can take off of there. But other than that, I think we're ready to go. Okay, we got the intake on now. It's cinched down, just got 4 bolts in it. I've got all the lines underneath it, all the air fittings and all that. I didn't bore you with that stuff. Got the push locks on, just kind of running out here wild. And now we're fixing to find the fun part of it.
Yeah. All the fab work of that right there.
Well, you gotta see what this is first. So I'm talking about when I get this fuel rail. Let's see, that's where that goes.
Okay, yeah.
See the little thing that's sitting right here?
Yeah.
If that wasn't there, we're money. This little piece.
Yeah.
I don't know if it needs to have that.
This right here?
Yeah, see, this was what was on there. You know, obviously. And that screwed in there like that. Down to that, like that. But I'm not even using that plug. My little piece right here broke though, but I don't know if that's an exciter to that. If that needs to be on there since we only use the 1 wire. I don't know. I mean, the only way to do it is to, I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's the only way to be able to make this right here fit on that, is for that not to be there, because that's where it goes. Let's see, it hits that little piece right
Would
there.
a 45 be better? Like if it kind of came out here? I mean, if you took that 90 off?
I don't think. Because it just hits like right here, just on the little piece of metal right there. It just hits on that. If that wasn't there, once that comes off, you can take that little clip off, and it's a brush, you know. That's what gets me, is that this right here is a little, like a ground with a brush that goes in. But I don't know if that goes to anything. All right, guys, we're going to investigate a little bit further, see if we can figure this out and get back. Yeah, if I have something, then we'll get back to here in just a second. All right, guys, here's the situation. I think we kind of got it figured out. I think I'm just going to switch everything. I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up taking this water pump off of here, taking this bracket off of here, taking this bracket off over here, switching over to the LS3 pump, which flips everything over the other side. Get the same bracket that Joey's got on his car, which puts the alternator over on the other side. That just kind of eliminates a lot of the problems. I can try to cut this piece right here and neck it down, but I'm not quite certain it would actually still clear, and then I got to cut on the throttle body. Like I said, I can move this over and re-drill it, which that's not an issue, and make that work. But it's kind of one of those things. I'm in the situation now that if I start drilling on this and cutting the water pump, well, then you got nothing to sell, and you're stuck with it. You know, and this idler pulley, you know, this can go as a set. Somebody who's got a truck set up, it would work out perfect for them. But when you see I've got the fuel rails on, everything fits, looks nice. All the lines already marked. I'm fixing to cut those. At least get this stuff set on here, get this done. I've got this one over here, because the fuel rails and stuff are going to go where they go. I'm not going to change any of that, obviously. The only other option I had necessarily was to take this fuel rail and just mill it back about 1/4 inch, and that would actually give me plenty of clearance here. But like I said, I don't know if I jack this alternator up by taking this piece off, or if it'll run. I guess I could run up to AutoZone real quick and see if it would actually still fire and still work. If it did, hey, then good. Either way, you know, I could either get it fixed, because this little connection right here broke. I can take it to an alternator shop around here and get that fixed. What I'm hoping is just doing that, it just eliminates a lot of the problems. Like I said, Joey's got the same setup on his car. Everything works good like that. Everything clears good. Not had any kind of issues. It's just all this beautiful work that I did right here is now for naught. Because what I'll end up having to do is taking all this, which all goes here, it actually would come out of this one and then go down there. Which isn't a bad deal. It's still clean looking, but it just, you know, wasted all that time doing that. I'd still use the same parts here. It just takes this filler neck and puts it, well, I guess I could still go from here, just kind of move this back to here and go down, but I don't know. This is part of it. This is what you know, what you get when you get the one size fits most type deal. All that intake had to do was be about a ½ inch taller or an inch taller. Yeah, that's my fault for not double checking that. But I mean, I'm not concerned about that necessarily. It just makes you do stuff you don't want to do. I'm just, like I said, hoping the alternator, you know, I don't have to get that fixed just because it takes time to do that. But ordering the bracket, ordering the parts, getting that stuff on there, it is what it is. The fuel rails, the way I've got those with the 90s and the straights out the back, I think all that's going to go good. Back here, we're probably going to come right off of right there and build a bracket to come down and put the regulator there. And that way these will just snake right in, either 90 right over to it and go to the return. I know a lot of people, even on like the truck stuff, they'll actually block off this side and use the return, but I just don't trust that. You know, Aeromotive says they like a free-flowing system, and that's what I'm going to do, especially with the horsepower levels we're at. It may be fine, I don't know. It's still returning. I can double check that, but either way, it doesn't fix my water pump issue up here, and it doesn't fix the clearances up here. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut these lines, get them on here, hook these up. That way those are done. All the stuff underneath the intake is done. And that's going to be what it is. The injector should be here this week. Then we can get those in. Regulator will be in. I can get all the stuff back there fixed. And just keep plugging along. Hopefully what I can do is order this stuff, you know, Monday. I can get the water pump I can get locally. It's just going to be the bracket. I think I picked the bracket up at Summit. I'm not quite for sure yet. But if not, I can order it through Jegs or somebody like that, and it'll be here this week. It's not like we're going racing tomorrow. I've got the tank out at 2Jam Fab right now. It's getting fixed. He's putting the fittings in that. So, I mean, I'm not super in a rush. I just hate having things broke down. You know, I hate walking the garage and just seeing it sit here. But overall, I mean, I like the look of it. I mean, as far as look, it's killer looking as far as in the car. It's nice and sleek. Of course, I got all this crap up here. That'll all get cleaned up. But I'm gonna jump on these lines real quick, get these cut, get these put in here, disassemble it, reassemble it, disassemble it, reassemble it, all that crap. So I'm gonna start getting after it. Can we say can of worms? Holy crap. This was not the plan, fellas. I mean, might as well pull the motor out and go back through it and freshen it up. It's wintertime. My goodness. I mean, pile of parts, no parts, wait for new parts, take old parts, recycle parts, install new parts. Repeat. I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. Whoo! All my pretty piping I just did. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if I want to run, if I want to go, this is what I got to do. This is the easiest way, and it just kind of, like I said, it gives me a peace of mind of doing it. I know it works. I've seen it on his car. We know it works. Everything's the same as far as the headers. Should work on mine. I'm not going to say it's going to work, because it should work. But I'm going to go ahead now. I mean, now that I got this off, I mean, I can put the intake back on it. I can even put the throttle body on it. I could even do my charge pipe if I wanted to. Start messing with it. But main thing is get the intake back on it. Get the lines plumbed, those hooked up, put the throttle body on it. At least look at it like that. But, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on these lines. They're push lock fittings, so they're a pain in the butt. So got a little trick I usually do to put these things together. But go inside and start getting those on there and put them on. All right, here we go. Easiest way that I found, of course I'm trying to do this with the pump and everything connected, is to boil these. Don't touch the pan, but just leave these in here for, I'll probably leave them in there for a good couple of minutes. And wear a glove, because yeah, they are hot when you pull them out. But that's the easiest way. I've tried WD-40 and I've tried putting, you know, penetrating oil and grease and everything else on them, and I've just never had good luck. This right here gets it nice and soft. I mean, it's not real soft, but I mean, it gets it just pliable enough that you can, I mean, you got to force it still. It's not easy. And you can push these things on like this. Don't use a torch and do this with these things, because it actually breaks down the material on the outside. This here just heats it up, makes it pliable, lets it expand a little bit. I put it in there for a good 2 or 3 minutes, and then just grab the freaking fitting and jam it on there as fast as you can. You got to move quick. I mean, you can't take your time, and like I said, you're still going to fight it, but it sure does make it a whole lot easier doing it this way than trying all the other ways I've tried. And trust me, I've tried them all. And I just use a soft backing so you don't tear your fitting all up. Straights are pretty easy. 90s are kind of a pain in the butt. Oh, that's good on the stove. Ow, hot. And these want to stand. And there we go. Nice and clean, nice and hot. But, like I said, that's the way I do them. Try it. If it didn't work out for you, sorry, I tried. I always look at me, I'm crazy when I'm doing stuff. Okay, got the fuel lines hooked up. This all came out pretty nice and tight. Of course, now everything looks pretty dang good since we're, you know, got rid of the rest of the motor. Everything's tight underneath there. Everything's cinched up. I mean, it's not final assembly, but everything is cinched down tight. I just want to go ahead and get everything to the point of where it's, I mean, it's snug. Everything's going to be where it's going to be. Get all the measurements. But I mean, even with this now, we can go ahead and stick that throttle body on here, at least get a look and see what it looks like. Well guys, got everything on, got the throttle body on, fuel rails on, intake's on, everything else is off. And if you ask me, I think that looks pretty dang good. I mean, I gotta say I do like the look of it. I'm a carburetor person, but this can grow on me. It is definitely a little sleeker design. Everything operates okay. Had to actually, they don't sell the actual throttle cable bracket. I actually had to go get that separate. And they don't make it for 102, they make it for 105, but obviously it clears, so that's a good thing there. Other than that, guys, that's about as far as I can get on this thing, other than wait on parts to get here. Obviously, we're gonna order a water pump, order a idler pulley for this side, alternator bracket low for this side, and just eliminate those problems. I just need to take that alternator check and make sure that I didn't just completely destroy it. But I mean, an alternator shop can fix it if I did my work to it. But other than that, I think it looks pretty spandangly. Like I said, I got more parts to sell now, but this is a peace of mind right here. Like I said, the injectors will be in this week, the regular will be in this week. Plumbing that up back there shouldn't be that big of a deal. I might work on the charge pipe tomorrow, I don't know. Like I said, I can go ahead and do that because I know where it's going, obviously, right there. But other than that, guys, I think that's gonna do it for us. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't subscribed already. Hit that too while you're at it, and hit the bell, and do all the other stuff you're supposed to do. Like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next one.